A very good evening to all of you. I'm Dr. Chaitra Bharat and I extend a very warm welcome to our guest, Mr. S.K. Gautam, and participants on behalf of Phoenix Academy, Mysore. So before we start our presentation today on future of food and agri entrepreneurship, let me lay out the instructions to you, which is as usual. All the participants, please keep your audio and video off at all times. You can use the chat box for both your queries and for questions for the speaker at the end of the session. All questions will be taken only at the end of the session. The link to download your e-certificates will be provided at the end of the webinar in the chat box. So please keep an eye out for the link. The link will be active for only 24 hours. So please get your certificates before that. Now I would like to introduce to you all Mr. S.K. Gautam. He is a seasoned, enthusiastic and dedicated professional of agribusiness industry of India who is serving the agribusiness industry for more than 30 years with various roles and responsibilities, managing from floor to platter with topmost agribusiness corporate houses of India and MNCs. He has the expertise with launching new innovative concepts, low-cost technologies and products in the agribusiness sector for the benefit of the farmers and end consumers, along with socio-economic development of the villages while working with different corporate houses. He has extended his service to the senior positions for the Indian business houses like the Murugappa Group, National Bulk Handling Corporation, Ranbaxy Group, Mahindra and Mahindra Group, KK Birla Group, and Indian Potash Limited for more than 25 years. He is currently associated as the CEO for Udyam, a unit of NR Tradewin Services Private Limited, Delhi, a company of experts for different agribusiness industry segments in India and abroad. Mr. Gautam is also associated as mentor and advisor to agribusiness startup companies in Delhi NCR and other cities of India where MS Mera Mali, Lucknow Fresh, Assure Foundation, One Dream Works, etc. are located in Delhi NCR. Mr. Gautam is currently engaged in professional management and consulting services for establishing the businesses of agri-input MNCs in the Indian market and expanding the business of Indian and MNCs agri-input companies to the market of South Asian countries especially. Currently, he is serving as at the MNC Sustainable Agri Solutions, Barcelona, Spain, for liquid water soluble plant nutrients, and Rhizobacter and Argentina for their innovative biofertilizers, and served Axreal from France for their barley seed multiplication, contract farming, procurement, warehousing activities in India and abroad. So it is definitely our our luck that he had a Saturday free for us and took his time out to address our audience. So welcome, sir, and it's over to you now.
Welcome, friends. So good evening to all. And like I have just got details that most of you people are from agri background, what I heard and what has got the feedback from Dr. Chaitra. I think my voice is okay. It is audible. Can anyone
respond? Yes, sir. It's clear. Yes, okay.
Yes. So this is the opportunity. Now that it's upcoming opportunity with agri and food sector. I am getting many calls from new entrepreneurs or who wants to come into this segment in agri and food segment. Even I am getting the calls from not from the youngsters, even the people sitting at topmost positions in the different industry see to understand, because what happens in the job segment, I was also serving the different companies in different positions, but while serving the companies at different positions, we have different kind of roles and responsibility. So we are bound to think only about the company. We cannot think beyond that, because most of my colleagues or my juniors or my friends are sitting in the different corporate houses. They cannot look beyond the company's business. They are just like having the very straight vision with the company's growth of the company business. But for the agri coming into this segment, this is important to understand the whole scenario of the agri and food segment. So we will just going to start some queries maybe there. So please note down your questions so that we will discuss after this presentation. That is not, that I don't think it will take much time, but discussion is important because you people are carrying so many things in your mind, so that you have joined this session to get your questions to be answered, or maybe after getting this presentation you can have some more questions to be answered. So that's all. So let us start. It's already 15 minutes over. So I will start with the sharing the screen. So there are, it's a kind of thing, so many people are thinking about the agri and coming into food business, because with the recent case of the this pandemic case of the COVID, everyone is, the one thing is very much clear into the mind of the people or the business, that food is going to be the most important uh, key business into the days to come. Or yes, other things are also important, but overall people can survive without any other things, but not food. So that is going to be very important key factor for the growth of the business. And yes, it is contributing a lot to our GDP also. So, and most of the people are still dependent on agri segment in India. Sometimes people are saying 55, 65 like this. Data are different, and we are not here to discuss the data. We have to understand the whole business scenario. So we will go one by one and look for the what kind of business we have to start, where to go. So this is the, just to share, business with new normal. So new normal concept is coming into all the business, not into the agri, but everyone is looking for the new normal. So something is going to be different than the earlier one, what we are, in the way we are moving out. So that is very much important. So I can share, it is common, you must be knowing this also. So the things are coming up with the new normal is into agri and food segment. Is the first, your business must be a technology oriented, because everyone is on the mobile, everyone is on the net speed has gone up, it is, availability is going up. So everyone look for the net, everyone is on the phone. So your total setup must be there on the phone, so people can search it, your business can be well searchable, can respond it. So these are the things to come to your business. Business must be a e-commerce oriented. So every food and agri business, even vegetable growers or agri inputs, even agri inputs are being sold on the e-commerce platforms. So somehow, if you can take your business with the e-commerce, that is going to be an advantage for you, because in the villages, farmers are also adopting, at least what I feel, in North India, in whole family, at least one smartphone is there. So you have to be access, you must have an access over the smartphone, over the families, like that. And web presence, so it is very common, whether even people are not starting the business, they are getting their website ready before start of the business. So these are the things to be taken care. And this all GPS, artificial intelligence, monitoring control, all these things are common. And people, you are from, basically you people are from that area, Bangalore, which is the startup hub and center for the IT applications. So you must be much aware about all these things. So all this need, all this need is there for the starting any business, for agri or whatever food you can say. Business, the people start in India, what happens? People start the business without any market feasibility, market research or anything. They think of, oh, this business is very good, everywhere demand is there. But before starting any business, you must go for business feasibility study or market research or any kind of things which you find it that it can be a challenge into your business. So must analyze all those challenges. That is highly important. And the things, this new normal hygiene system, social distancing, delivery systems. So all these has to be included in the with the new normal setup. So you have to consider it is very common. It's not much thing people are reading and listening the news on day-to-day basis. So that is very common. So just my introduction has been already given. That's based at Delhi NCR, and I'm supporting and promoting this agri and food entrepreneurs in other South Asian countries also. So what is the fundamental? Fundamental means basic things in food and agri business. Everything looks good. So you people are just going through the news in different newspapers, print media, and different analysis by different CNBC. The food sector is growing 200%. This sector is going this much of percent. So everywhere it looks good. Looks good. You think of, oh yeah, we can start with the pizza business. We can start with some farming business. Oh, organic farming. Oh, wonderful! It's going like a rocket in the market. Everything looks good, but total, it depends. Every business is good, but it depends on the SWOT analysis of your own whole system and the SWOT analysis of the business target area and resources which is available with you. So if all these things are matching, then everything is good, but you have to analyze your analysis with the whatever resources with you, what is your own own team or your own personal SWOT analysis, strength, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, and suppose you are sitting in Mysore or sitting in Kerala and you want to have a target in your target market is Bangalore, so you must analyze the market. Then you must analyze the resource, because you are sitting in Kerala and you are trying to sell your products in Karnataka or Bangalore or any other cities. So you have to analyze all those things. What are the challenges? Who are the competitors? What kind of their prices? What kind of facilities? How they are managing the logistics supply chain? What are the prices? What are the profits? So all this you have to analyze. Suppose you have analyzed the market competition by market research company, you have got all this information. Then it is not going to suffice your to a business plan. Then your resources, and always just take a note of it. Agri business needs a good team people. It doesn't mean you thought of you have the money and you have very good resources, then you can start by your own putting some people. No, you need a replica of your mindset or your enthusiasm or your commitment level with some more people who can take the different responsibility at different locations. In agri and food business, it doesn't mean you will produce here and you will sell here. You can produce at a particular location, but you have to sell it at some other location. So you need to get all these details, good kind of team with yourself, so that you can go into that. Why I'm telling this? Because I've seen some startups, one startups in Lucknow area. I just recall Lucknow Fresh. Yes, single person is doing that. But he has very different kind of limitation. He has no very limited growth of the business. He has a very limited area of operation, because different challenges are there with being a single person. He is unable to grow his business over the area or over the different platforms. He's there on e-commerce. He's there connected with the Zomato, Swiggy, everywhere. But he has a limit of the growth because he's a single person. On the other side, I've seen some startups having 3-4 partners taking different responsibilities, so that growth of that startups or company is growing well with the time. And different people have different mindsets, so they are analyzing each and every situation with their own mindset, own analysis. So sometimes it's a good kind of market analysis, or some they can understand the strength, weaknesses, and analyze those things. They can take the better action compared to a single mind. So always it is required that you should have a good kind of team or replica kind of people, like your mindset, your commitment, so that you have to move in that direction. It's very much important to match your business and your personal or team SWOT. So it is very much important to come into that segment. News, print media, any, you can Google this data also. So it is not much important, but just to tune your mindset that this sector is growing a lot compared to other business. Yes, people are showing that auto sector has gone like this sector has gone like this, but this is the sector which is creating the most employment at the rural segment. So this is the one. There are 440 agri-tech startups with a 25% annual growth with an investment of this much of, as it is a NASSOCAM report. And population still, you can understand that it is all, it's a old data, because I was unable to find some new data. It is just for refreshing yourself and understanding the importance of this agri and food business into the Indian economy. What is the attributes? Means some attractions are there, some goodness is there. So what these are the personal and professional goodness are there. So it's a good if you are engaged in somewhere in agri segment or food segment, it gives some kind of mental and physical. Some people feel some good, because it is food is also a good factor for the good feeling in that, because people go to the restaurant, they take their own choice of dishes. Some people prefer to, they are very much happy by taking fresh fruits from the on daily basis, or once they visit to any garden, getting fresh fruit plucked from directly from the trees or directly harvested from the field. So some kind of good thing is there. And second thing, it is going to support the whole socio-economic segment of the rural sector, which is also sometimes gives a good feel factor to the person involved in this kind of business. And one thing is very much important, that regular cash flow in supply chain business or in whole segment. If you take an example of vegetable business, vegetable means consumer is buying vegetable on regular basis. So farmer is harvesting vegetables on regular basis. Every alternate they are harvesting. It is coming to mandi, or it is coming to supply chain players like grofers, Big Basket, or whosoever else is they're on daily basis they are buying. So everywhere there is cash flow. Consumer is paying back to their supplier or e-commerce platform. E-commerce platform daily giving it back to the mandi or to the farmers, it goes. So cash flow is very good in this food and agri-business sector. And in the recent segment, earlier there was a change for 1 month credit period or 3 months credit period by different corporates to the whole supply chain. But after this COVID scenario, what I got the feedback that everyone is paying cash. Nothing is on a single day credit. So it is all on cash and carry basis. And investment, on personal investment, is agri business. Anyone start to any kind of agri business, even one can start with a very minimal amount, and it can be any big amount what you can think of. Maybe 100 crores, maybe 500 crores. It depends on. If a person is single, like I am talking about the Lucknow phrase, he is a single person, and I don't think he has started his business more than 10,000 rupees. But now he is there and he is doing good turnover over a month. But because of single person operations, so it has limitations. So it can be started with a very lowest possible amount. And professionally, government is also supporting the startups. There are different platforms government has created. MSME, one can get registered on MSME with their only Aadhaar card. There is no need of you have to form a company, private limited company or partnership company, then you can register on MSME. No, you just go to the website and you can register yourself individual as a proprietorship firm, even without naming any firm. You can register yourself as in your name with your Aadhaar card. You will get an Udyog Aadhaar and you can register yourself as a MSME or micro unit for the doing agri or food business on the rural segment or in the urban segment. Tax benefits, yes, it is there. That's not much to be discussed. But yes, tax benefits are good. Tax benefits are there. And the next thing is interdependent business opportunity. So this is the thing. Suppose you are into a particular segment of agri and food business. So what happens? Most of the agri food business segments are interdependent. Once you got a command over the particular segment from where you have started, you've taken your startups. So after getting a good command, you can shift, just little shift is there to the next segment where you can also take a command with the time. You cannot barge into all the segments of the agri and food business, but one by one you can start taking up with the different things. Like I can give an example to you, Zomato. It is Zomato. First, they have started just a delivery platform, or Swiggy. They have just they have taken registration of different food manufacturers or restaurants or home food maker. They have got all the registration. They have got all the listed products with the different suppliers. Then they have got the this delivery boys registration. So they have got the whole idea of the data of the whole segment. In this area, what kind of preference is there in what time? So in 5 to 8 p.m. or 5 to 12 p.m., this area is generating this kind of food business, this much number of dishes in non-veg or veg, everything they have gotten. Now on that database, they have started their own kitchen. So first it was just an e-commerce platform, or it was a platform. And next, they have barged into the own kitchen. Now they are starting their own kitchen. Means they have just taken one step and came into the new business segment. So now they are starting their own kitchen because they have all kind of good data with themselves that this area is generating this kind of business. So now they are playing with that. So like this was an urban or an e-commerce example. But if you are in a supply chain of vegetables, like any vegetable supply, you can, once you get a volume on daily basis, people are going back to the further farming also. Most of the people are coming with the organic supply chain. They are developing their brand and they are sourcing it and they are putting up the brand and supplying it to the market. Now they have come into the own growing. They are taking the land on lease and started growing their own with the high value crops, which they find most of the margin for the business. So this kind, you can shift it to the next business very easily because you have command of one segment and you can shift into that also at the same time and you can increase your business. So that was the opportunity. And yes, employment generation is very high there at the different level. So one can think of this is a professional opportunity. Next, these are the key factors. So food and agri business, if you people are from agri segment or agri graduates, you must understand all these things because these are the key factors which is going to impact your agri and food business in the long run or in the short run or even at the base of the start. Soil health status, we have the, you must understand the soil health status. If you are in farm production or crop production system or seed production system, you must understand the soil health status is going to be important. Climatic condition, we have the 132 climatic and subclimatic zones. Sorry, 15 climatic zones and 132 subclimatic zones, which has the different climatic behavior and where we can grow the different crops. In India, we can grow each and every crop grown in the other part of world. So that kind of climatic condition we have in different parts of India. So that is the big advantage with us. If you want any kind of fruits or vegetable or any kind of crop production, you can get it in India. Yes, some products can be commercially produced in south, some in north, some in different parts. So it is the opportunity. And second, another thing is irrigation, water and systems. So most of the, like some parts of India is the dry part, some parts of the irrigated with the well covered by the rivers and canals, and other parts having very dry spell, or you can, because of some soil, sandy soil in Rajasthan, some sandy area is there, Gujarat, some sandy area is there, water scarcity is there, some groundwater is somewhere high, somewhere low. So a lot of challenges are there. So all the, in case of farm production or in case of all these things, one has to consider these factors, because you cannot grow if the crop is requiring very high water. So you have to select that area for all these things. And market access. Suppose you are producing something which is going to be targeted at some particular market or the area. So this is very important, market access. So you are producing somewhere. So if you are producing fresh produce or vegetables or fruits, you have some limitations with all these crops, because some crops you cannot transport it more than 8 hours period. Like green peas. Green peas, you cannot transport it from production area to consumption area or any mandi beyond 8 hours. If it is beyond the 8 hours in transportation, even we have many times we have used reefer van also for these American sweet corn for more than 8 hours, but the quality has been deteriorated even in the reefer vans. So market access, you have to define yourself where you are producing, where you are going to market. Like frozen foods, they are targeting Middle East and other places, but the cost is very high for the carrying frozen food from one place to other place. If it arrives at another place, you have to store it in a frozen condition. So these are the things you have to consider. The warehousing facility service, these are also important, because if you are producing potato, you must have the cold storage nearby your production area. If you are transporting, okay, if you are transporting to other area, so you have to consider, because the storage is important either at the production area or at the consumption area. Any of the area you have to go for the storage. In between you cannot store, like some apples. Now the season of apples is going on. Apple has no storage facilities at hills. People are bound to say, yes, some cold storages are there, hilly area, but they are very limited. So most of the apples are being from there to different part of the India. It is going to different cities and being stored in the different cold storage at particular location. So these facilities are there. Manpower engagement, farm finance is also there, because cash flow is very high in agri segment. And what we can say, suppose you have 100 rupees or you have 1,000 rupees, you have to divide for the agri and food business, you have to divide your whole money into 3 parts. Keep one part for production, one part for you can say processing or packaging or supply chain, and third part is for the market linkages, because market linkages required these advertisement or services, and sometimes you have to be prepared for the payments delay or some miscarriages in or quality deterioration in the transit. So you have to understand the risk. So your all investment must be divided in agri-food business into 3 segments. If you are dividing in 3 segments, then you can plan your business volume or business targets. You have 100 rupees, then you have to think of, okay, you can invest 30 rupees on 30% on production. So you have to plan your production accordingly. 30 rupees for supply chain. So you have to engage the people in the supply chain system for packaging and all the manpower with that limit only, because you have the limited money, 30%. Then market segment. So like this, you have to farm finance. So you have to think all this nitty-gritty of the investment into that segment. Then let's come to the processing technology. There are a number of processing technologies for in different agri and food business, and the investment is also goes like that with the different technology. Suppose someone is looking for the drying or dehydration technology, it is going to be cheaper. If someone is looking for frozen, it is going to be higher. If you are looking something for higher processing, very high level processing, protein or extract, taking extract from the fruits or flowers or all these things, so you have to apply different technologies. Your production is going to be different. So you have to understand all those things with the time and with the factors. So you have to analyze your business 360-degree analysis with a different segment of market, production and processing, or supply chain, you can say. Now I'm coming to the opportunities with the future segment. So I have divided into three, four, 5 segments. It is different opportunities. So first I'm taking the pre-farm segment, means before farming. No, it is not yet started. So before farming, what are the opportunities for the agri graduates where they can go and start with the startups or being an entrepreneur, or anyone can invest with some money, putting their people. And I'm going to tell you one thing very much important. People are calling at the different platform and to me also, sir, I have some area of land. I have 100 acres of land or 12 acres of land, and I want to do some agri business. I want to do some food business. So just certain platform is there. So we have certain you can say some questions with the investors or who are willing to come into this segment. One thing, okay, you have 10 acres of land, very good. How much you want to invest in this segment? Already I told you, you have to divide your investment into 3 parts. So they are saying, okay, I can invest this much of rupees, 1 crore, 50 lakhs, whatever they are saying. It's okay. Because according to their investment, I can advise them for the business. Suppose someone is having 10 lakh rupees and he is dreaming for frozen food business or something. No, it can't be possible with a 10 lakh rupees investment. So someone is having 1 crore rupees to invest or 10 crore rupees to invest. Yes, that different segment is there for 10 crore investment. So it depends with the money. And second thing, the time also. People are saying, oh, yes, I want to invest this. Okay, you want to invest, very well. So how much time you want to invest for this business? So someone is saying, oh no, I cannot invest. I cannot invest my time. I can invest only money, and I will hire some people and I will do the business, but I don't have any time. Then some people are saying, oh, I cannot give the full time, but yes, I can at least give 20 hours or 2 days in a week or this much days in a month to take care of my business. But rest can be taken care by my associates or my relative or my any friends, whatever. We are 4 or 5 friends, so I cannot invest my time, but my friend will invest his time. Okay. Then some people are saying, oh no, I cannot give time and I can invest part time. And some people say, oh, I am getting retired or I am a retired person. If you say I can devote my full time for this business. If some key person or investor or any entrepreneur is going to invest full time, then the business is going to be different. If he's devoting his half time and half time by his close friends or relatives to take care, then model is going to be different. If he is having only invest to money, not the time, then business model or business choice is going to be different. So you have to understand the dynamics of the investment and money and the time of the key person who is going to start the business. Many corporate people are willing to start the business, but they don't have time to devote for the business. They can go, I will review the business 6 monthly, or I can review the business quarterly. That can I do. Rest I can't do nothing. So my person will take care, or I will employ some people. So there are a lot of dynamics. So I'm just sharing with you. So it is agri input distribution. One is important thing, means you can start seed business, or your seed sellers or retailer business, or wholesale business of seeds, fertilizers, agrochemicals, biofertilizers. So these are the system where the graduation degree or agri diploma is required. So the people who are there with the any agri diploma or training or agri graduation degree, they can get the license from the government and they can start their business at the rural site. Means they can start their business at nearby the farmers where the consumer is there. You can start the business in urban area also for gardening, landscaping products, where you can sell other things also. So that is one opportunity. Soil testing lab. There are many. There are 2-3 instruments that come up in the market, which is portable. You can buy it from AAT Murugappa Chettiar Research Institute, that is in Chennai. A technology developed by soil digital technology developed for soil testing, which can give the quick results with the 18 parameters of the soil testing. That's one. And some instrument has been developed by Indian Agriculture Research Institute. You can take up that instruments and go into the rural side. You can start the soil testing business, but it is little bit tedious. The kind of controversy with the government, they are delivering soil health card. That is not the right one. I cannot say the right or wrong, but I'm not suggesting. But if someone has the command over the area with the farmers, they must go for soil testing business. It doesn't require any BSc AG or agriculture graduates or diploma, but any even 10th qualified person or high school or intermediate qualified person can start this. There is no particular things. Farm machinery sales and services, it is very common. Tractors are being sold and mechanics are there, sales services are there at the root level. Even companies are also organizing, they are extending, they are hiring the people for the services for the different farm machineries. And yes, wear and tear is very common while working in the field. So one can go for this well-organized way. Microfinance services also there, means many companies are recently, Jai Kisan startup has come up at Hyderabad West, who have started the farm finance system, and they have taken startup and funding from NABARD. NABARD is the NAB Ventures. They are investing in the different segment of the agri and food business. So they are being funded by NABARD, by NAB Ventures, and they are into microfinance. So anyone can, with the good banking people or retired banking people, they can start with the good resources of people and friends. They can start a company. That's microfinance services. Micro irrigation, irrigation sales services. It is one can be a distributor of any micro irrigation company. And it also is a very common wear and tear is there in micro irrigation also, because people are some nozzles choked out. So it is also important segment. It is all pre-farm. Before farming, farmers need all these things to start the farming. Vegetable, flowers, plant nursery, that is very common in nearby the city areas, because seasonal flowers business is a very big business in the urban areas, so that can be done very well. And most of the urban areas are surrounded with the vegetable production villages. So one can start with this plant supplies or seedling supplies to those requirements. Vermicompost biofertilizer manufacture is very common. Vermicompost that you cannot sell it beyond the 100-kilometer radius. It is not economical. So as much as your radius is lower to the production area, or you can say biocompost or vermicompost, ideal radius for operating vermicompost business is a 50-kilometer radius, and you can go up to maximum up to 100-kilometer radius. But biofertilizers, yes, you can go to the India level, you can export it to the different countries, depends on your quality and competence and the quality. So you can start with that. Botanical extract, biopesticide stimulants is also very common, and government is also bringing it into the regulations. I know a company called, not a startup, but I know a company, I've seen their production unit in Pondicherry, that is Pranthik International. So they are taking extract from the different herbs and the spices and making botanical extracts and biopesticides for different challenges in crop production as a plant nutrients. Or you can say seaweed business is very common in South India, in Tamil Nadu, Coimbatore, this Madurai, Rameswaram area, it is very common. Visakhapatnam, these are the very common area where the seaweed extracts are going to be extracted from the seaweeds and being exported to other countries also. Micronutrient manufacturing, it is also part of botanical extracts. So people are making with the botanical extract and biopesticide with this micronutrient manufacturing, and it is mineral based also, it is chemical based also. So it depends, you have to take the proper license and all these things. Yes, for biofertilizer manufacturing, now Government of India has relaxed the norms. You need not any license for biofertilizers manufacturing. But for the selling, you need license. For the selling permission, it is required, but not required for biofertilizers manufacturing. Earlier, you need to apply for the biofertilizer license also, manufacturing license also. So there are nitty-gritties are there, lot many details are there. I will not go, I'm just putting out the outlines of the business, that's all. It is a farming segment, that's a different farming segment. This is not the only, crop production is not the only area. Seed production is also very profitable business. You can make a tie-up with the different companies, because different seed companies are making tie-up with the professionals for commercial seed production. So they have to be produced on the, because they each big companies, even multinationals, have their own R&D farms, but only R&D farms cannot cater their big requirement, huge requirement. So they are bound to take a tie-up with a different commercial company, different farmers or well-educated farmers for crop seed production. Timber and fruit plantation crop. This is the things what we suggest. We suggest for those people like that. Earlier I told that you have the money, someone has the money, or someone has the land, but he don't have time. So in that case, we recommend those people to go for timber and fruit plantation crop. They have to fence their land. They have to go for timber or fruit plantation, put a tube well, get started planting. And after 4 or 5 years, they get the good kind of fruits. So it requires very little attention by the investor, just keeping a 1 or 2% for taking care of the irrigation and all those things. So this kind of is also very common, where the huge lands are there. You cannot do the cropping because it requires. In MP, lot many people, corporates have the different land banks, like 200 acres, 300 acres of land. Different corporate houses sitting at Mumbai, they are having this kind of facility. So most of them are going for timber plantation and fruit plantations. General cereal crops means paddy, wheat, sugarcane, oil seeds, pulses. So you have to take all these crops. Cash crops like vegetables, all these are cash crops. Herbal and medicinal crops. Some states have the and spices and all these things like Kerala, MP. They all grow the herbals and spices, all those things. Organic, chemical, and chemical-free crop products, and people are very much fascinating about this. Organic crop, certified organic, chemical-free or residual-free crop. So different kind of demand and things are there. So people go for that. So that is also an opportunity. In different people are coming with the different corporate houses are coming with their own brand, own land banks. They are doing all organic, all these things. Greenhouse, polyhouse, it is very common, known to every agripreneur or everyone knows it. Floriculture and flowers, it is all flower farming is also common. It is common in polyhouses. It is common in open field also, because in North India, for some exotic flowers, you have to go for the polyhouse farming or shade net farming. But for the Indian flowers like marigold and other gladiolas and other crops, people are doing in different climates in open fields also. Fruits and forestry plant nursery. Nursery is also going to be important. There is subsidy by the government or the forest department also for creating a nursery. And if someone is creating a nursery, he can tie up with the forest department. They are buying on regular basis and they can give the requirement for raising a nursery for a particular plants or things, and they can buy back also. So this is also a kind of business model for forestry plant nursery or fruit plant nursery. Many people are doing that. It's again farming segment, that is a urban setup, microgreens farms are there. In some parts they are setting up, people are setting up microgreens. It is a new thing. So it is coming up, not very much common, but it is coming up, microgreen farms. And hydroponic retails means people are growing with the display and the things are there. It is not common in India, but thought has came to the market. Some people has planning to start, and some at very small scale level, people have started these things. So one can go into the shop and you can harvest the fresh from the hydroponics, this crop by your hand or by your own system. But it depends on that, because it is going to be costly. So it can be a kind of, you can say, hobby kind of things, or not much common, but it's elite class can go and take these things. It is a kind of experience also to the buyer. Seasonal plant nursery, yes, I have already discussed. Seasonal means nearby the urban area, one can go for the seasonal flower plants and seasonal vegetables nursery, which is very common. Urban farming is getting, rooftop farming is getting common, so it is highly required. So one can do this thing also. Mushroom farming is also happening in Delhi NCR. There are 2-3 villages. They are doing 150 acres of for this mushroom farming, and they are supplying to major NCR market and to the North India. So in a particular 2-3 villages, there people are doing 150 acres. All the farmers are doing. Even some people, young people who had left the job and they've came into the business, they have started the mushroom farming in the Delhi NCR area. So vertical farming and climate control area, that is also possible, but I cannot suggest much. But some exotic fruits and crops can be considered under vertical farming, not the common crops which is commonly grown in the polyhouses or in the open fields. But yes, it is also kind of business vertical. It is coming up. I don't know how much remuneration or things will be there, but yes, for the export purpose, I can understand. Depends on the logistics and other things. Hydroponics farms are also there. People are coming with the hydroponic farms, but mostly it is profitable with the corporate business houses only, because they are not doing for the consumers. They are doing for their own consumption. Like DS Group, Dharampal Satyapal Group, they are doing hydroponics farming for their own consumption. They are doing for the different kinds of herbs and different things. Like Dabar is doing hydroponic farms. They are big farms. They are in towards Gurgaon area. But yes, they are. That is for their own consumption. For critical herbs or very special herbs and plants. So they are doing hydroponics is also common, and it is gaining ground in the urban areas or big cities because the quality of production and taste, and it is going to be completely different from the open house or open field production. So yes, it is also gaining ground, but it requires, and the very selected crop can be grown with the hydroponics. Lot many, it is a technology. I don't think it depends on, so one has to do the market research or market survey to understand the cost and benefits of this hydroponic farming. So one has to do the exercise, 360-degree analysis before coming into vertical farming or hydroponics or in aeroponics. Aeroponics is also used, but mainly used in India, that is for seed potato production. And Mahindra is there, ITC is there, and other big companies are there into this segment. They are using aeroponic very much high commercial at commercial level for the seed potato production, but not to any other crop production on commercial basis. But it is also a technology which you can consider for the different things. Rooftop farming and garden, that is common in urban areas like Jaipur and cities also. People are opting for this, who has a space over the roof. So they are opting for these things because it is completely controlled and organic and all these things. So people are preferring. So, but it requires your time for the taking care of this rooftop garden. Though the people have started services for the taking care of your rooftop garden, but somehow it is your care and service provider care is going to be different. Vegetable growing or anything growing requires day-to-day observation. So yes, your care is highly important compared to the service providers. That is post-harvest segments. One thing I have also left there, tissue culture, establishment of tissue culture lab. Tissue culture lab is also very, I will share just an example. In UP, there is around need of around, I can say, around 1.5 crore banana plants requirement or 2 crore banana plant requirement is there in Uttar Pradesh by the state horticulture department. And all these banana plants, most of these banana plants are coming from Coimbatore. Why? Tissue culture labs are there in UP also. Tissue culture labs are there in Gujarat also, Maharashtra also. So it is coming from Maharashtra also, from Gujarat also. But most of the share of the supplies is from Coimbatore area. Why it is from Coimbatore area? Because how it has been taken, tissue culture plant production of banana is gone up to the household production level in Coimbatore. People are buying two laminaires for in their home. They have taken 1 or 2 rooms, get prepared as a tissue culture lab, and they have started production by their own. Their whole family members are there just to produce the tissue culture plant of banana. They are getting it and they are selling it to North India. Why they are? Because the cost of production is very low and their price is very low. So most of the buyer or hardening who are taking the plant at the initialization and hardening here in the UP, they are prefer to buy from Coimbatore compared to Maharashtra and Gujarat because they are supplying at the very low cost. Why it is at very low cost? Because they are the household people. They are the household people. They are producing this tissue culture plants at household level. So that is the, I just shared the tissue culture is also a kind of business you can take up, but you have to do the business exercise and market research and feasibility study before going for that. Tissue culture plant can be start with the 15 lakh rupees to 20 lakh rupees, you can start it very well. This post-harvest segment is very much important because the losses here after the crop production. Cleaning, sorting, grading, packing, and stacking, these are all this system in general. So mainly these things are there. So in this cleaning, sorting, and grading and packing, this process, most of the losses is there in this segment. So if someone can manage these segments, he can be a winner. Like what I just shared some examples. Another is drying, pulping, other value addition through the different machines and like this. I'm sharing just example. There is a cold storage set up in Uttarakhand, and it has been funded by Netherlands not as a grant. They have funded, and the farmers have started a cooperative, and farmers have returned that money to the Netherlands project, the company. So they have done a good kind of cold storage, and it is near to the production area. So whatever A grade, B grade is being graded and packed, waxing done, and they are packing it and they're storing it their production location or selling it further to the different markets. And whatever the C grade, D grade, what they are getting from their villages, they are just getting, they are doing the pulping for all those C grade and D grade or cut and whatever. They are doing all these things. They make the pulp of the apples and they sit on that and they sell it very comfortably to the different apple juice selling concentrate or different companies sitting on that. So they are utilizing the waste of the crop produce which cannot be sold in the market because they are getting. So likewise, there are many things. Drying, solar drying is a very common, is going to be a what I suggested many times, 2-3 times to the ministry, that government should distribute the solar dryer to every village or block level or panchayat level into the India, so that farmers should come to that place, bring their going to be C grade and D grade material. They can get it dried there, maybe air drying or hot air drying or solar drying. They get it dried there and they can take it back for their own use. It depends on them. Like in Kerala, you just see the bitter gourd chips are being sold on dried bitter gourd chips are being sold in Kerala at 150 or more than that rupees in the common market. In Odisha, I have seen the people are selling dried vegetable. These tribals are doing dry waste. They are selling in the local market dry vegetables for the rest of the off-season area. So these are where they are just managing the waste because they cannot consume, or there is no facility of storage. They cannot consume all the vegetable at a single time. So they go for the drying and they are selling at the later stage in the off-season at a very good price. So these are the options in the post-harvest segments. And aggregation centers, collection centers, packing, trading, these also can be opportunity. I am just sharing these things. Some farmers in the northern India, they have started it. Earlier what happened, the collection centers are being started by this e-commerce platform. They have opened their own collection center like Udaan. They are buying vegetable from the farmers. Big Basket, they are buying different segments. So they have started their collection centers in different hubs of production. So what happened? The farmers are bringing their vegetable to that collection center, and after that collection center, they do all this. These companies doing all grading, sorting, and they get it packed and they send it to their e-commerce platform or different retail format segment like More or Reliance Fresh like this. So even a person can start his own collection center. It is very small, not very high investment. With a small investment, one can start the collection center in the production area, and he can make a tie-up with the companies, because company will prefer to take from that collection center, because without their investment, they are getting the material well sorted, graded, and for particular center. So that can be an opportunity. It is coming up, not yet started, but it is growing from North India. People are starting their own collection centers or aggregation centers. Supply chain, it is very common. All the e-commerce companies and everyone is there with the supply chain, aggregation, collection center, sorting, grading, all these things. They are making their farm to fork. There are different models. They are making different GPS. They are setting vegetables moving from which location to which location. What is the production? Artificial intelligence. They are also applying the how many acres of particular okra crop is there in this area. So they are deciding on the price and consumption. There's so lot many analysis are being done. So this, suppose this area is Delhi NCR has this much of consumption of okra on per day or particular month, but what kind of area is there in the Delhi NCR in 50-kilometer radius or 100-kilometer radius? So they're analyzing how much crop is there, how much production is going to be there, so they can estimate the price, what price can go high, what price, whether it can go low. Now this lot when these things are there. So this is the supply chain, and most of the people are understanding it. Cold storage, if someone has good money, government has good subsidy also over the cold store, 50%, I can say. And one cold storage cost is going around 8 crores to 10 crores rupees, or maybe up to 15 crore rupees, depending on the capacity. And advancement, it is there. So different kind of things are there, and subsidies are there. One can go for this. If anyone farming any company, he has to understand the whole market scenario, and then strategically you have to put up a cold store. It does, you cannot, it should not that there are 10 cold storages are already there in the market, and again you have started 11th cold store in the same area. No, you should understand the dynamics and gaps also in supply chain. Pest control and fumigation services, very much common. I've seen some agri graduates, they have started the pest control services. It's a good thing. They understand the market, and it is a growing need of the area. Since with the high-rise system is going, so everyone needs pest control in their home, at least once in a 2 year or 3 years. It is required by each household, as I understand. There are some, this is beyond the agri and foods, but livestock segment is also important in the food chain, food supply chain. It is also kind of farming also, so dairy farming, poultry, rabbit, silk farming is very common in South India, especially in Karnataka is well known for the silk farming. I have visited many farms for the silk farming. In Odisha, tribal areas, it is very much common. Goatry, piggery, beekeeping, even animal breeding farms are getting common. I have seen a dairy farm where they are breeding for the good HF, Holstein Friesian cow breeds, and Bangalore is known for the very high quality HF Holstein Friesian cows. And in all India, people are buying Holstein Friesian breed from Bangalore area, because they have the very good breeding capacity and very quality breeding capacity in Bangalore. So breeding of animals is also common. Some people, even I have seen some people having the dog breeding farms there. So I've seen first time in Rajasthan area, they have the, I've seen around 15 or 20 breeding cages for the different males and females. They are doing the dog breeding farm. So that can be an opportunity. One can think beyond all these things also. I don't know which can be better. Beekeeping is also part of this. Stingless beekeeping is also there. Stingless, which, so that is also coming up in urban areas, because people don't have any fear to grow to just take care of the beehives in the urban space. Landscaping is also another segment. I'm nurturing a company called meramali.com, www.meramali.com. That is a landscaping company who are into the developing and maintenance of the landscapes in households, into the big projects also, new projects also, existing projects also, because there is a gap. There are a number of landscape developers in India, but the maintenance, nobody is ready to maintain because it is a thankless job and challenges are a lot more there into the landscape maintenance. So there is a gap in maintenance, and yes, it is. There was a scope, so they came into this segment. That's meramali.com. So landscape development maintenance is different thing. Grass farming. I have seen in Noida area some major farms that they are doing the grass farmings, carpet grass farmings. They are growing the grass at the lawns, and because there is a demand in the market, so they are selling the carpet grass, rolling out carpet grass to the different projects at different prices, depending on with the quality and variety of the grass. So that is a different thing. Gardening services is also getting common. So the people feel good to take their home gardening by their own, but somehow it requires a quality control or a quality service for the gardening, because people know that with the experience they understand the plant's behavior, but it is required. Gardening services is required, and which meramali.com is also doing in this area. So they are doing gardening services, some garden input material and tool business. I have already suggested. If you are an agri graduate or diploma holder or anything, you can start, because you have to sell some fertilizers also, seeds also, some agrochemical or organic fertilizers also for the serving urban areas. Skill training is also going to be a common, which is being taken by meramali.com. They are training the gardeners and they are using for themselves and supplying to the manpower to the other different segments. Organic waste management, it is common. Indoor landscaping, nutrition, air purification, green walls. This is also upcoming business, which needs some discussion over it. Indoor landscaping is also going to be important, because each and every part of the article inside the home or inside the office, it is generating some pollutants inside the closed doors, whether it is office or a home. Your tube lights, your furnitures, your computers, air conditioners, fan, electrical equipment, all these things are generating pollutants inside the inside your office and home. So they are analyzing the kind of pollutants being produced by your articles indoor or your inside the house or office, and according to that they are putting the different plants which are consuming all those pollutants, and so they are deciding in which corner which kind of plant is there, how much size of the plant will be there, which plant at which place, at pantry which kind of plant will be there, at washrooms which kind of plants will be there, on table which kinds of plants. So they are having different technologies. So they are doing in that segment also. So green walls, yes, it is common. Even office receptions they are having the green walls. Corporate office, they require the green walls in there, or at the reception or at the boss cabin or whatever. So this business is also growing in the landscaping. But before coming into this kind of business, one has to understand the whole market. It doesn't mean you are just seen and you are just imagined and you are jumped into the business. No, it is not like that. One has to analyze all those things. Primary processing means it is not a complete hardcore processing. Primary processing means primarily processing at the production level, which can enhance its shelf life of the different farm produce. Dry flower business or dry vegetable business, I have already discussed. Dry herbs and medicinal plants, which is required by the different Ayurvedic industry or medicinal industry. So, and it is being served on the dry basis only. So these drying can happen at the production level. Suppose you are into medicinal plant, medicinal crop production or herb production, You have to get it dry and store it and then sell it to the different buyers or processors. So these are, we call it primary processing. Means solar drying can be there, hot air drying can be there, or like pickles making. These are also primary processing. Flour milling, like I can just dal milling, rice milling. These are the small units are possible to be established at the panchayat level or to the community level. Flour mills, it is very common. In the village, you can find a chakki where everyone goes with their own wheat or things and they can get it grinded, and they are just paying the money for the grinding of the wheat and they're coming back with their produce. So this can be honey processing. Essential oil extracts is also processing at the root level. It is the common things. So this is the primary processing. So these can be taken as a cottage industry or with a very small investment into the rural area. So what happens, if you want some product in bulk, you can encourage this cottage industry into that particular targeted area where the production of herbs or vegetables or flower is common. You can create a self-help group. You must be studying in different parts. So, and you can start getting collection from them so that you can get a good quantity for the marketing, branding, packaging, or processing. So you can promote this business into a target production area and you can take it to the marketing. So these business can be started with a very low investment. It doesn't require very high investment. You can start even with a 10,000 rupees to lakhs of rupees to start with this business. That is very much common and it is already happening in that area. You have to need just to organize and modernize with the things so that it can be shelf life can be increased and can be sold into the target market area of the different urban areas. Aquaculture is also, things are coming up. Everyone knows fish farming is prawn and shrimp. Odisha is the largest supplier of shrimp and prawns from India to other part of world. It is on the global map. Odisha is on the global map for the quality prawns and shrimp, prawns or shrimp, you can say, they are supplying to the different part of the world. It has the logistic advantage of seaport also. So yes, it is there. So there is also drying is also there, processing is also there. It happens at the root level. So this is very common in the aquaculture. Snails farming, that is for a nutrition and different export purpose, is not much common. Pearl farming is also coming up, but snails, pearl, these you have to, once you want to enter into it, you have to understand the market. It doesn't mean you have just heard it and you have Googled it and you have learned it and you have started it. No, you have to go with the primary feasibility and all the other things. Fish hatchery, it is also common. So I've seen many people who are into the fish farming. After their 4 or 5 fish farm, they have started their own fish hatchery also. So that they are shifted from fish farming to fish hatchery also, because they cater their own requirement as well as to other farmers' requirement also. And government has a lot of subsidies and support on these in all these segments. Opportunity, trade and marketing. There are many people who don't want to go into the farming or manufacturing or to the even up to the marketing. They don't have that much of resources, or they don't have that much of manpower or fund, or they just wanting to trade. They have to buy from the rural side and they have to sell into the market, like aggregators in the rural areas. So people are there, they are doing these things also, and it doesn't require a very high manpower. It depends on the personal capabilities and capacity, investment, all these things. So one can start, they can make a tie-up with the e-commerce people. So people, exporter, they have started, I've seen some exporter, they have got this EC code as export company. They have got registered with the APIDA also, and they have started the exporting vegetables. in this lockdown period. So many cities have started exporting vegetables to different part of the world, depending on price parity and other things. So Apida is helping a lot in this segment for the different vegetable pricing and requirement in the different countries. So they are helping for the export of the fruits and vegetable and processed product also. Organic trading, retailing, export, that is also an opportunity. Commodity trading, most of this is also already happening in the area, but one can go into this business also. Aggregation and then cleaning, grading, and then further supplying to the e-commerce or to the market as a bulk like this. Processing is also that was a primary processing. Now it is a hardcore processing. One has to go for the large scale. It is mostly these processing segment requires a large investment in the processing, in the backward, you can say backward buying also, and the marketing also. They also need a very huge money for the setting of the market also. So if someone can do the B2B marketing also after processing, one can go for B2B, but for going for B2C after processing, it is a costly affair, and one can go, but after the proper exercise, financial strength and all those things. So these are the things. Blast freezing can be also done. Livestock feed production, silage. Silage is getting common at the farmers level, at the rural level in the Punjab area. Bakery and fruit, lot many people have started with the bakery, small bakery, big bakeries. They are growing, and I suggest one should start with a step by step, because if someone goes step by step or increasing their capacity, they are learning the dynamics of the market at the same time. Investing a lot at the beginning itself with a huge capacity, sometimes it is a disaster for the investor also. I have seen many cases, because the most of the processors lose the money. I can share an example. A person has retired in Eastern UP area, and he want to start with a dairy processing unit. So the machinery people, they have sold the big machinery, defining different. Okay, if you will put a big machinery, then your cost of production will be low, your cost of energy consumption is going to be low, this and low, this low, that low. So anyhow, they have convinced the processor, and they have sold a big machine for 50,000 liters of chilling plant. They have sold a machine for 50,000 liters. What happened? The man has got into bad debt, all the recoveries, and he could not cross the 16,000 liter capacity in last 5 years. 5 years or 7 years. He had never crossed the 16,000 liter capacity, but he got installed 50,000 liter capacity machine. So he is losing on the energy consumption, he is losing on the money, everything, he is losing on the manpower, everywhere losing. Ultimately, that is now is a bad debt and non-performing asset for that particular bank. So it is always better to start. If I was there, I have to suggest them, suppose they have the capacity of 10,000 liter in that area, I can suggest him to start the chilling plant with a 5,000 liters, because not all the milk is going to come to their plant. So one has to think in that way. So processing is very much important. So one has to do the 360-degree analysis, market analysis, machinery analysis, supply chain, what he can get the backward linkages, how much raw material is going to get from his area. So all these things are important. So it is just suggestion, but opportunities are there in this segment. But there are some small suggestions I'm telling very frankly to the people. I have already shared that people are having lands. So if you people, or if you are students, or you are having some lands in your parental lands or farm lands, I will suggest some 2-3 things to you. Whether you do business or don't do business, whether you want to entrepreneur or don't want to be entrepreneur. If you have a land, get registered for the Kisan Credit Card. Whether you is land in your father's name, let your father register for the Kisan Credit Card. If land is your name or any family member's name, if you are agriculture graduate, not agriculture graduate, whatever, if you have land, farming land, you must get a Kisan Credit Card, apply for it, in whose name you have the land records. Create a record as a farmers. If you have a land, you got a KCC, you must create a record as a farmer at a block level. Get registered yourself at a block level. I am a farmer, I need different facilities, I am a grower. So go and register as a farmer. That is also important. May register your micro enterprise. I have already told in the beginning, if you have an Aadhaar card, whether you have a land or you don't have a land, or you don't know agriculture, don't want to do anything. If you don't want to do anything also, suppose your wife may come after some time, maybe with the entrepreneurial mindset, the situation is going, many people has left the job because of different reason, or company has laid off them. They are willing to come into this segment. They don't know where to start, how to start. Leave it. Take your decision maybe 6 months later, but register yourself as a micro enterprise over the Udyog Aadhaar on MSME, Ministry of Micro and Small Enterprises website. Must register yourself, maybe in your particular name, maybe as a proprietor, maybe as a partner, whatever. Must register yourself. May create a FPO under NABARD and SFSC if you have the farming land and good access with the rural areas. If you are an agriculture graduate, you can start a business, or you can start a enterprise as a farmer producer organization under NABARD or SFSC or any government guidelines. It doesn't mean you have gone to your area and started make an association or cooperative with the farmers. No. Till the time you are not registered with these agencies, you are not recognized. Next, like I already told you, market research is highly important. Analyzing the market research, analyzing the market analysis, all market research is a different thing, and that is also for the market related, but you have to understand the supply chain also, in which field you are going. So you have to understand the complete supply chain from production to processing to marketing. So these are also required. Critically analyze the risk with time. It may be possible before lockdown, the business of chicken was, or selling the chicken meat was maybe better, but after lockdown, it may not be better. So you have to analyze that, because the trend changes with the time, or with the other risk factors of the health and human life. Many times you have seen that, oh, some swine flu is there, so suddenly chicken sales stopped. So all the poultry farm owners are in bad shape with their bad financials, because one rumor or one factor has just impacted their whole business. They have invested many money over the chickens to growing making a poultry farm, shed, all those things, manpower, everyone is there. But suddenly a news or a situation or health situation has spoiled the whole business of the poultry. Likewise, there are so many risk factors. So one has to analyze the risk factors and be prepared for the managing those things with the time. Or coming into the business, you must realize the risk factors. So inventory, there is inventory carrying cost is sometimes it is like in frozen food. You have to maintain your food at minus 18 degree temperature. So it is if your stock is stuck up in this lockdown, many of the food processing of frozen food business people have left the business, because 4 months they are unable to sell their products, and the inventory carrying cost and energy consumption for maintaining minus 18 degree temperature for the storage, you can understand the cost and loss. So many people has left the frozen food storage business because of this sudden lockdown. So, and all the restaurant is closed, hotel is closed, and catering business is closed because no marriages, no parties, no seminars, nothing is there. So whole of this it has impacted the frozen food business very badly. So one has to understand the risk factor and time analysis. So that was the thing. Government supports and recent announcement, you must be going to the different advertisements, newspapers, the automatic collateral free bank loan government does not allow 3 lakh crores. It is around 30,000 crore. Kisan credit card loan can go up to 225,000 crore. Farmer loan this much crore. Rural infrastructure government has created for 4,200 crores for rural infrastructure. Rural infrastructure includes your this polyhouse farming, this fish farming, all these advanced farming means, and this collection centers, all these things comes under this rural infrastructure, polyhouses and all these things, processing, minimal processing, like drying unit and solar drying or hot air drying, minimal processing, like this. So this comes under rural infrastructure. Emergency fund to farmers, 30,000 crores. Farmer relief fund, processing equipments unit subsidy, it is different subsidy. So different part has different subsidy. Government has already announced, it is already coming up from the last several years. But in this, after this lockdown or slowdown of economy, government has announced many kind of new subsidy and support to the rural segment, and especially for agri and food segment. So one has to understand and study, because every state has different policies, because government has diversified these funds to the states. Now state has a different policy for the disbursement of these loans. They have different strategy. So one has to understand the strategy as per their own state requirements and own policy. These are other things. Matsya Sampada Yojana, 20,000 crore for fisheries. Animal husbandry infrastructure fund, 15,000 crore rupees. This is the segment wise. I'm just describing segment wise. Agri infrastructure, 1 lakh crores. Micro food enterprises, small units for drying and other processing, minimal processing, that is 10,000 crores. Herbal cultivation, 4,000 crore. Beekeeping, 500 crores. Like this, they have operation of green and fruit vegetables, means there's a supply chain segment or creating infrastructure for supply chain, that is different segment. So these are the subsidies are there announced by the government, but one has to analyze at the state level announcements. I recommend these agencies where you have to go and understand the different schemes with these agencies. NABARD, you have to approach for funding or subsidies to these agencies. NABARD, Khadi Gramin Udyog, banks means the bank, lead bank of the district, not all the banks. So every district has different lead banks. So you have to ask for the lead bank, which is the lead bank of your district. So go to the lead bank, NABARD, Khadi Gramin Udyog, MSME segment, district industry centers. There, every district has industry center. Go to there. National Horticulture Board has the offices at state level. Horticulture Department, Agriculture Department, APIDA. All these people are there to support you. If you have any questions, that's all. I have taken around, I think, 1 hour, 20 minutes or like that or more.
So thank you so much. All. That was a very comprehensive talk on entrepreneurship and the areas that youngsters and people aspiring to get into agribusiness can actually get into. Yes, we have a lot of questions, which I'm going to read it out to you one by one, sir.
Okay, please.
Yes, just give me a moment, sir. Okay, so the first question is from Dr. Maruti Gowda from UK, and he wants to know what are the government support available for agribusiness companies. Please give us more details. Can the startups avail loans, and how does this work?
Yes, startups can get loan. It depends on the particular district or of the area and particular state of the, it depends on the state and particular districts. Because I can just share an example. UP government and Punjab government and these government for potato, they have like different vegetable, they have targeted different districts. Like in Punjab, they have identified Jalandhar. In UP, they have identified potato hubs for different. For tomato, they have different hubs. Potato, they have different hubs in the different part of the India. It doesn't mean in UP only. So if you want to do any potato business or potato-based processing or business or trading or cultivation or whatsoever, or tomato-based or onion-based or any particular vegetable-based or mango-based or apple-based, so you have to start your business in that particular identified hub of the state or the districts in the particular state, so that you will get all those kind of different subsidies from different departments because that district has been identified. And yes, there are a lot of opportunities in the different segment of agri, but I suggest wastage is quite much there in the agri-business segment. So someone should enter into the primary processing of the foods or vegetable or in the whole supply chain, which can enhance the shelf life and can give good value to the buyers or the consumers.
Okay. Our next question is from Rajeshwari Bentur, and she says, we have land but no water sources available, and we have to depend only on rainwater. They plan to grow some commercial crops. What do you suggest in Gadag area? And they live in Bangalore, sir.
In which area?
The land is in Gadag, that is North Karnataka.
Okay, North Karnataka. You can go for the different commercial crops, but you have to go with to minimize the water use. That is some sprinkler, foggers, and drip irrigation you can take. I can understand that suppose there is no water at all, but you have to create some water resource, like you have to create a artificial water tank where you can restore the water for the off-season uses. Which can be used as a drip or a sprinkler into that area, but you can do the commercial crop also. That is possible.
Yeah. So mostly controlled environment cultivation would go better there because there's no water. You can go for soil water sensors. So it is artificial intelligence supported. So with that, you can actually minimize water usage a lot. There are many options, Rajeshwari, and probably you can get in touch with Sir on his email, which we will give it out to you at the end of the webinar. So you can go, take his suggestions more specifically based on your land requirement. Okay. Mr. Shashi says Gautamji is giving a very nice picture of things, particularly of market research intelligence and socioeconomic support to 86% rural people. But his concern is that in India, where many villages even nearer to bigger cities are poorly connected, no transport, no power or access to basic things, how agri and food business digitalization is going to be possible for them?
Can you repeat last two?
Yeah, so he wants to know, you suggested that when the new entrepreneur should have more technology-based business plans. So he wants to know how digitalization can be brought about in the rural areas because we don't have much connectivity in the rural areas.
Digital, I think it can maybe segment-wise or area-wise, maybe strategy may be different. Suppose if you take the Western UP, you can take any kind of technology in this Western UP, whatever technology you are taking Delhi NCR, you can take it to Western UP. Like Bangalore, if you are surrounding Mysore and all other things, you can take up any technology even up to Ooty. every technology you can apply into the farming and other segments. So it depends on the area, and you have to analyze the resources and the analysis before starting any business, whether it is agri input or anything. You have to do your personal SWOT, strength, weaknesses, and the kind of business you are thinking, that SWOT, and area of the business, the SWOT of that area of the business, yourself, and the idea of the business. All three has to match with each other. That's all that I'm saying. If you are matching all these three things, then you can go for any decision.
And many of us, when we say digitalization, we think about internet and phone connectivity for the farmers. So even if they do not have smartphones, we do have bulk SMS sending packages. We have IVR, so that you can actually relay recorded messages in the regional languages to the farmers in your network. So there are, but see, in India, everybody has a phone. So we are, I think, we rank 1 or 2 in the entire world for mobile phone usage. And even if they don't have a smartphone, I'm sure they have a normal phone where you could do your business by SMS and IVR strategies. Yeah. So our next question is from Mr. Girish Deshpande.
Just I can tell you about this.
Yes, sure, sir.
SMS business.
Yeah.
It will result only 5%. Whatever SMS you are doing, it will convert to the business 1 to 5% only.
Yes.
You don't think you have made the 1 lakh SMS to the different area, and you will get you can expect only 1 to 5% response for your business response or conversion to the business. That's all.
So not only SMS, even our webinar is only 1 to 5% conversion.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Our next question is from Mr. Girish Deshpande. Sir, can you elaborate on registration in MSME without the registration of a firm?
Pardon?
So you said that an individual can register as an MSME. So he wants to know more about that.
Means government is providing, Ministry of MSME, Micro and Small Enterprises Ministry is providing the Udyog Aadhaar, like we are getting our Aadhaar card. So government is providing Udyog Aadhaar. So only those people can get the benefit who are registered with the MSME. I am doing a business here, or someone, a startup is doing a business there. If he is not registered with the MSME ministry, he is not going to receive any benefits from government or any government segment or any government announcement. He must be registered with the Udyog Aadhaar. So for Udyog Aadhaar, if someone is doing individual or with a partnership or the private limited, he must register with the Udyog Aadhaar. So he has to go to the website and register himself.
So the next question is from Ms. Devam, and he says, is there any particular benefit of setting a processing plant at a mega food park as compared to a normal location closer to a source of raw material?
Food park is the only thing where suppose if you are doing at the production location, it can be good, you can get the benefit of the raw material. Difference between two is there is a common facility. Now you have to create your own facility. So your investment can be more, your challenges can be more. Like you have to take the boiler license, you have to take that license, this license, pollution control license, that license. But in mega food park, you need not to go for any kind of license. You have to put up your plant. The rest of the things are common, and there is a common facility for each and everything. There is a common warehouse, there is a common cold store, there is a common transport availability. So everything is common there, like common facilities. But for if you are doing your own, you cannot grow up to it. You need more resources, fund resources, and more things to take the pain. That is the difference.
Right. Sir, Devam also wants to know what is the best way to know all the government support and benefits for agri businesses, because the information is so dispersed. So how do we actually search for what will be beneficial for us and how to do it more efficiently?
I have listed the agencies where you can go and check with them. What happens? Government has announced this much subsidy, that much subsidy for this, for fish farming, for cold storage. They have announced many things they have announced. But it depends on the funds, availability of the funds at the district level. I can put an example. If farmers or entrepreneurs heard that, oh, government is giving this much of rupees for fish farming or for putting a cold store, their government is giving 50% subsidy for putting a cold store. So once he goes to his district, once he go to the department for the subsidy, he finds, okay, government has announced, but fund is not available. So you apply this year. Now I will send your application to the central or state body. They will consider your application and they will give the fund maybe 6 months later, maybe next year, next financial year. Depends on the funds availability at district level, state level, and central transfer fund by the center. It doesn't mean someone has announced and you will get the funds. No, it is not. So one has to go. I have listed down those places. Khadi Gramodyog, NABARD. There is a district manager sitting in each districts of India. District manager NABARD. You have to meet district manager NABARD. You have to meet Jila District Industry Center. You have to meet Khadi Gramodyog Center. So you have to inquire what kind of fund is available and which kind of for which kind of agri business. So accordingly, you can approach that.
Right. Okay. So the next question is, what are the sections that would require license for setting up? The question is from Mr. Teja Nara.
For
setting up agri businesses, what are the different sectors that would need licensing?
Every sector need license. Every sector. Even a vegetable, if after the farming, if you are taking a vegetable on a cart, that needs FSSAI license at least.
Right.
So every sector need license. If you are dealing with food, FSSAI. If you are dealing with farming and different processing, then different licenses. Farming doesn't require any license.
Okay. So these are the questions that we have, sir. Some people want to know if you can share the PPT with them. Is that possible?
I can give it to you. You can.
Yes, yes, sure, sir. Yes. So we will, those who want the PPT, please drop me an email. Or if you have any other queries, please drop me an email at enquiry@ourphoenixacademy.com. You can also go to ourphoenixacademy.com, the website, and drop your queries there in the contact form, and we'll get back to you whatever it is. The certificate link has been given to you in the chat box. Please click on the link and you'll get your certificate very soon. So thank you so much, sir, for joining us and taking time off to address these young aspiring entrepreneurs in agribusiness. We will definitely get back to you with more we'll need your help in setting up a lot of things, I think. So they'll get in touch with you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to the participants as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.